I need the content.
No, I don't give a fuck.
No, the double. That's the double. No, this is how you get him out of here.
Yo, you're fucking that bitch. Do something about it. No, I told your family. And guess what? 1 million on your head. You got $1 million on his head? I got the stack.
That's them stones.
Good. Put $1 million on the stack.
When you take a blast downtown,
Yeah.
this what happen when you on this.
See, you wanted that content, nigga. Look, now you turned into content.
Shalom, shalom, Akim. Call HALAL, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, RECAN. Love honors to the elders and apostles who get millstone and teach them well. Peace and salutations to be to hopeful elect. I'm coming at you from the JMS Timber Camp down here in Tampa, Florida. Alright, this is going to be going into stay away from bug outs. Stay away from these people of the world, man. And don't be out here doing foolish shit. Okay? Trying to film niggas like the world be doing. You see when somebody tweaking out, bugging out, or you see niggas doing crazy shit, or there's a shootout, whatever it is, these people, the first thing they do is grab their phone and start recording. Okay? First and foremost, you shouldn't be anywhere near such situations according to wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Okay? You should keep yourself away from the crowd at all times, because when the crowd is together, all these people got demons on them. You know what's going to happen. It's always going to be a casualty or a major event, or something just bad goes wrong. Something goes wrong fast, okay? So the best thing for you to do is, you know, live a simple life. Be content with things you got, you know. Stop trying to chase vainglory and vanity, okay? Because these things are only going to cost you at the end. You're looking to, you trying to find a, trying to find a way to prove a point by recording people. All right, or you just out there in the midst. The scriptures say falling out after a multitude to do evil, you know. Matter of fact, we'll grab it. Because we're not the same as these people. These people are volatile, very uncontrollable, okay? And you don't know their next move. You never know what they're going to do next. That's why you just steer clear, especially a nigga, all right? I can say that 10 times more for a nigga than anybody else. All right, now these heathen and these Edomites, of course they're wicked. Of course they don't live holy lives. They don't live righteous lives. But niggas, they have a destroyed mindset. Scripture say he shall put a yoke upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. All right. So our people, Jake, is destroyed. So they constantly got a chip on their shoulder. They're constantly looking to fight, constantly looking to be violent, constantly looking to prove a point or to prove that they're worth something, okay? Because for so long, they have felt like they were worthless, all right? And so our people are in a state of fighting for their own glory and their own title and their own name. If you just look at a nigga in the eyeballs, he sees it as a challenge, okay? Oh, you think you're better than me, nigga? What you looking at, nigga? You know? That's the book of Exodus, chapter 23 and verse 2. In the NLT, you must not follow the crowd in doing wrong. Okay? Don't be following the crowd. Don't be a crowd chaser or a crowd pleaser. Okay? Don't be one of those guys, man. They're just going to find out in the end that you were just an extra in the movie. All right? And that's all. You're not that guy. Trying to be that guy, you're going to find out that you were never that guy in all your lifetimes. All right? Just be simple, man. Be humble. Be meek. All right? And look to be pleasing unto the Lord. All right? By your actions and your works. Okay? Your actions and your works show what you are, man. Okay? And by your works will you be judged. So if you looking to please a crowd, then your works are going to show it. But if you're looking to please the Lord, your works are going to show it as well. All right, by living a quiet, meek, and humble life, staying close to the Lord, SEMINOLE, looking to please Him only. Okay? Everything else is vanity and vexation. You must not follow the crowd in doing wrong. When you are called to testify in a dispute, do not be swayed by the crowd to twist justice. That's what they did against Yahawashi. Jake twisted justice against Yahawashi, man. All right? You had people in the crowd chanting, who knew what they were doing. They were chanting to crucify Yahawashi instead of Barabbas. Let Barabbas go. Alright? When Barabbas was the true criminal and Yahawashi was innocent. Okay? But you follow after a crowd, the crowd starts chanting one thing, before you know it, you chanting that same thing too. Okay? What Yahawashi said, they know not what they do. Okay? Roughly paraphrasing. Matter of fact, I'll grab that too. I don't know if it's the one I'm looking for. Consider not, yeah. They do. It's the different scripture. But Yahawashi said, he prayed on the cross, he said, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. You know? You got to understand what you're doing at all times. As the scriptures say, in the book of Ecclesiastes, I think there's another one too, right? No, it's good. It's Ecclesiastes chapter 5 and verse 1. Keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of Yahawashi, and be ready to hear, then to give the sacrifice of fools. All right, and constantly you have people coming up to the camp, giving the sacrifice of fools. Nobody want to hear what the hell you got to say, man. All right, you come up here, your job when you come up to the camp, people don't understand this, but what they're doing is they're conversating with the Lord, but they see it because they lack faith. They see it as they're conversating with men. Okay, this is not of us. We didn't get up of our own will and say, let's go and do this. The Lord put the Spirit on us to do these things, to go out there and teach His word, to carry His message. It's not our message. It's not our opinion. It's not about how we feel or what we think. We are carrying the Lord's message. Okay? We're doing our job. But these people get into their minds where, oh, it's their message. Maybe I could persuade them to follow after my message. No, nigga. The niggas be too prideful. The Lord say He knoweth the proud are far off. He's not really dealing with you. Okay? But you be so caught up in your mind, Jake be so caught up in their mind and haughty and proud, they think the Lord, what that nigga say, I forget his name, but that nigga say the Lord got his phone number personally. Okay? As if the Lord be calling him and talking to him personally, as if he dealt with Moses. He dealing with that nigga. No, man, you niggas are delusional, bugged out. It says, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools. Nigga come up and tell you his whole life story. Okay? The Lord already knows your whole life story. He's not asking. Right now, He's offering you salvation. Take it or be destroyed without it. It says, for they consider not that they do evil. They're not considering what they're doing. Okay? Jake ain't considering that they're doing foolishness. They're doing evil in the sight of Yahawashi. All right? Jake don't get it until it's too late. Okay? So we're not to move as these Jakes do. Jake be all up in their mind, thinking everything is about them, thinking the world revolves around them. It doesn't. Okay? There's 8 billion plus more people out there like you, man. Okay? There's only 144,000 of your elect, though. Okay? And those are men that kneeled to Yahawashi. And then you got the 1/3 who also kneeled to Yahawashi. Okay? Well, that's why the scriptures say the Lord say I've kept 7,000 men who have not bowed the knee to the image of Baal. Alright? Just completion, going into the elect. It says, for they consider not that they do evil. These niggas don't think about the evil that they're doing. But we do consider what we do. That's the difference between us and these beasts. Okay, these people are natural brute beasts because they don't consider their actions. Alright, they don't weigh out their actions. Alright, what effect it will have in the future. Okay, and who they're going to have to answer to for it. Alright, Jake don't think that they'll ever have to answer for their actions. They don't realize these things. Okay, but you got a spiritual record book. Okay, a spiritual report. Everything is recorded, etched into the book of your report, and it's given to the Lord, YAHAWASHI. And if you ain't right, it's just gonna be a book full of wickedness, and that's the end of you. The book of niggatry, okay? The book of a nigga. Your name won't even be on it. It's just the book of a nigga. You're gonna be tossed into your name. Gonna be tossed into the same book as all the other niggas. It's 2/3. Okay, you ain't gonna get your own book. It's gonna be one. There was one of those niggas, 2/3 niggas. Yep, this guy was wicked. This guy was a nigga. All right, but the elect, they got their own stories. Okay, that's why they got each of their crown, because there's a story behind every crown. The Lord gonna crown these men. Okay, and there's a story behind all of those crowns. What they did to get it. What they did to please the Lord. The fights that they fought to be found acceptable in the sight of YAHAWASHI. Okay, the never-ending battles that they've conquered. The never-ending demons that they've conquered. Okay, to receive that crown. But you niggas, you chasing the crown of this world to be seen by men, to be seen by Esau Edom, which is really a sodomite spirit, man. Be not rash with thy mouth, and let not thine heart be hasty to utter anything before YAHAWASHI. For YAHAWASHI is in heaven, and thou upon earth. Therefore let thy words be few. Niggas don't consider that, though. Alright, they come up and tell the whole story. Nigga, we don't want to hear that. Nigga, it's not about you, and it's not about us. It's about YAHAWASHI. We're glorifying. What the scriptures say, on their part he is evil spoken of, but on our part he is glorified. Okay, it's not about us, but of him that sent us. It's time for the Lord to get his glory. It's not time for our glory. We have been put to shame because we have chased our own glory. Alright, now we have to glorify the Lord so that the Lord can glorify us once again. Alright, and receive us as his people. Alright, now going into not chasing these crowds, not being crowd pleasers, not being around these people, being bug outs with these people, okay, or just even trying to be in the midst of the crowd and trying to get videos of people that's doing wicked shit. It's just unwise, man. Don't do it. Okay, we gotta walk separately. Okay, scriptures say walk in the spirit and you shall not fulfill the deeds of the flesh. Don't be walking after these people who walk after the flesh. Walk after the spirit, man. Matthew chapter 10 and verse 16 says, Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. Okay? You don't have to, you ain't gonna have to fight with a nigga if you're using wisdom. You shouldn't ever have to go toe to toe with a nigga if you're using wisdom. Yeah, sometimes nigga may bug out and try to attack you and shit like that. Then you may have to use that spiritual hand-to-hand combat and physical hand-to-hand combat as well. You know, have to move around a nigga, man. Okay, in due time, the Lord gonna make us walk through niggas. Okay, but right now we're sheep in the midst of wolves. Therefore, walk as a sheep. Okay, you can easily be caught up. Your foot can easily be caught up. The reason we still thriving and surviving is because the Lord has been protecting us and shielding us. When we go out in public, the Lord has got a constant shield on us. So even if there's judgment nearby, we shall not be touched. You know, brothers don't usually come near judgment. Somebody catching judgment. Okay, but when we do, we are always safe. We're always a safe distance. Okay, that's what I said. Don't be, you know, you may be driving by somebody that got in a terrible accident, driving by somebody that got in a shootout, or in an area. If you in an area where people are shooting out, that means you at the wrong place at the wrong time. You're not supposed to be over there, man. Okay, you shouldn't be over there. Now, if you had to be there, understood, but get yourself out of that situation. Don't be trying to record, oh, these niggas shooting. I told y'all these niggas was niggas. 2/3 out here shooting, man. No, don't be simple. All right, because the Lord can flip it on you for being simple and breaking his law, statutes, and commandments, which precepts goes into commandments. You ain't listening. You ain't following after the precepts. Ain't being wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove. You ain't using wisdom. You go over to try to record, a bullet can hit you. Many people have died from stray bullets. Shit, I seen a bullet the other day. A woman was walking with her child and down the street. And this is just how judgment works. Okay? Down the street, there was a shootout happening. and people were running towards her way while she was walking towards a shootout. She didn't know what was going on, but by the time she realized, oh shit, people are running because they hear gunshots, she had already been shot. She was walking with her baby in her hand. Okay? She got hit, I believe it was in the head or somewhere vital, but she died on the spot. Okay? She got hit by a stray bullet, dropped her baby, fell to the floor, and she was gone at the scene. Pronounced dead at the scene, as they would say. Okay? And that's just how judgment works. That bullet, everything was calculated. It wasn't an accident. It wasn't, I wouldn't say a stray bullet per se, but that bullet had a purpose. It was shot that way. Everything was done in the way it happened because it was calculated in the heavens before it happened on earth. It was planned out. It was orchestrated. Okay, like a movie play. Mankind don't understand that they have no control of their goings or the way they go and their footsteps. All right, but the Lord is in charge of all those things. So, yeah, be wise as serpents, harmless as doves. You don't want to be out there in the midst of a fucking battlefield just because you're trying to prove a point to these niggas. These niggas ain't gonna get it. In the end, these niggas will not get it. You gotta understand that. That's why the scriptures say plague, famine, and death are sent as scourges for a minute, but for all these they shall not turn away from their wickedness. And the scripture also say, why should they be stricken anymore? Okay, there is no remedy. They will revolt more and more. Alright, so after all the ass whoopings the Lord keeps giving them, and it was times they understood that they was getting their ass whooped by the Lord, they revolted still, they rebelled still, they were disobedient still. Okay, so all like that scripture say, if Moses couldn't persuade them, neither will they be persuaded though a man was brought back from the dead. Okay, there's no persuading these people. Their minds are made up, and really they were just created to be that stubble in the fire, man. There's nothing you can do about that. Talking to these people is like talking to a brick wall. That's why we say we out here for the elect. Okay, none else. Because if you trying to prove a point to a nigga, I don't know if you ever seen that meme picture with someone screaming at a monkey or smiling in his face with his hand on his chin. Okay, the monkey knows, like, the monkey's just pretty much rage baiting him at that point. And that's what these people do, is rage bait, because they can't really understand what you're saying. Proverbs 1:5 says, a wise man will hear and will increase learning, and a man of understanding shall attain unto wise counsels. To understand a proverb and the interpretation, the words of the wise and their dark sayings. All right, wisdom is going to lead you down the path of seeking to understand more, seeking more knowledge, more understanding, more wisdom. Because the more of that there is, okay, the more safety. All right, in the midst of counsel there is safety. All right, and wisdom. Okay, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. Isaiah 33:6. So that wisdom and knowledge is what's going to keep a man stable. It's what's going to keep us stable, because we're going to know, oh shit, something's happening over there, I'm going to go this way then. We're going to know, oh shit, the crowd is chasing this area, so I'm going to steer clear of that area then. Okay? Rather than chasing the crowd, being a part of it. You don't want to be a groupie, man. The worst thing that you can be is a groupie. Okay, the celebrities, they be looking at the crowd, and all they see is groupies, and what that means is these women, they all gather together as a crowd, and they chasing without understanding, just because they see what they like what they see or whatever. Okay. These people are sensual, seeking to please their senses, seeking pleasure to the flesh, and that's really all. But they don't know the things that these people are doing behind closed doors. Okay? They don't really care. They like what they see. They're chasing their senses. Don't be someone who's chasing your senses. Okay? Don't be impulsive like a beast. That's why the scripture calls these people natural brute beasts, because they're very impulsive. They get a feeling, they catch a hunch, and they chase after it as though it was their main goal for the rest of their life. All right? They have a dream, whatever it may be, and then they get up and they say, you know what? I'm going to bring that to pass. Okay? Scripture say only fools chase dreams. This is the book of Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 15. And the reason I post this, or what inspired me to do this lesson, is because the beloved brother Ash, the head of the camp, he was telling us, he was briefing us, like, stay away from these people. And don't be trying to record these people for content and shit either, or you're going to end up catching, you end up catching hell for it. Or something may happen to you. Somebody may swing on you or some shit. And then I just seen a video, of Jake trying to record for content. And then he started recording, like, no, it's for content. He said, turn the camera off. No, it's for content. So you see the warning went out. Dude said, turn the camera off. Okay. He said, no, it's for content. Dude got behind the camera and swung on his ass in the camera. Made sure that he recorded that. Okay. I don't know. I guess the dude was live or something, but the video got out there, man. So he had to be live. It's for content. It's for content. Okay. Just mind your business. Scripture say, just work with your own hands. Okay? Mind your business. Tend to your own things. Ephesians 5:15. See then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil, especially in this time we are now. All right? The days are evil, and it's only getting worse. Jake is getting more riled up. They're getting also more dangerous because of all the guns and stuff, the gun laws that they have passed and stuff. Jake, everybody's armed. Everybody's armed, but Jake is more likely to use it. They're very volatile. What you say, nigga? They're more likely to pull a trigger on someone that looks like them than to pull it on someone else, a heathen or Edomite. Okay? And we out here teaching to our people. We just don't want to get caught up in that mess. Alright? It says, wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is. You got to realize, if you're in a position or a predicament where things are going wrong, you got to understand how you think about. Scripture say, consider your ways. Consider how you got there. Was it the will of the Lord? Okay, do you think you were following or abiding by the will of the Lord that led you there? Okay. Ultimately, things happen, okay, either to be a blessing or a lesson. It's either a blessing or a lesson. Okay. People approach you either to teach you something or to learn something from you. Okay? So, really everything is according to the will of the Lord. But if you're using wisdom, you're going to find yourself in a lot more safer situations. You're going to find yourself having to go through less tutoring sessions. And those tutoring sessions can be gruesome. You may catch a stray bullet during one of those tutoring sessions. Okay? Some people got to bleed. Some people got to be caught up in judgment or hurt really badly or injured really badly, damaged. Some people got to get their vessel cracked in order for them to learn their lesson and know that they shouldn't be doing that. I'll never do that again. Yeah, after this happened, yeah, I'm going to stay away from that. Kind of like an animal or a dog. You whoop their ass for something they did, they're going to know not to do it anymore. And that's exactly what happens with Jake. Okay? It says, and be not drunk with wine wherein is excess, but be filled with the Spirit. Okay? Don't be drunk with wine, especially the wine of Babylon, which is what these people are drunk of. Don't be drunk with wine, man. You're going to end up... If you're drunk with the wine of Babylon, you're going to run into sodomy. You're going to end up being a sodomite. Alright? Or in jail, locked up, where you eventually probably become a sodomite as well. The way them niggas handling in there. Okay? End up killed in a grave early. Okay? Somewhere that you just didn't want to be. These people follow These people drink with excess the wine of Babylon and end up cutting off their private parts, talking about that they're a girl now. Okay? 3 weeks later, they want to sue the people that cut off their private parts because they want it back. Oh, it's very uncomfortable. Oh, it's always hurting. It's always itching. It's always tight. It's always painful. I can't move this way. I can't do that. Okay? You couldn't accept how the Lord created you. I mean, you went and made modifications because you didn't think the Lord knew what he was doing. You trusted your own understanding. These people are retarded, spiritually and mentally retarded. Don't be like these people, and don't be drinking after the Babylon. Don't be drinking the Babylon juice. It's gonna lead you down the same route. Okay? And don't be drinking too much wine physically, too much actual alcohol. Okay? That'll get you fucked up. Shit. Early on in my walk, I found out the hard way how things go, man. Drink too much alcohol, your ass end up blacking out, and shit happens. You just wish you never drunk so much. Okay? You wake up sick, and I'll never do that again. Okay? You wake up in pain. Alright? Or you wake up and find your ass behind bars. Okay? It's just not wise. Just follow after the scriptures, the precepts, which are the real commandments. See then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time because the days are evil. It's the book of Proverbs chapter 10 verse 1. The Proverbs of Solomon. A wise son maketh a glad father, but a foolish son is the heaviness of his mother. Okay. See, because you're going to die early, and your mama going to be mourning you. Okay. But if you if you're a wise son, all right, your parents will be pleased, especially your dad. Yeah, that's my son. I taught him right. All right. Psalms 19:7 says, the law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul. The testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple. So the law of the Lord is perfect. If you follow after it, you're going to obtain wisdom. You're going to see why the Lord said to follow these things, to listen to him. And you're going to say, this is love. This is wisdom. This is true love. All right. And you ain't going to want nothing less. Okay, so just stay clear of trouble. Stay away from the crowd. Use wisdom. Don't be foolish. Everything in temperance. Okay. Focus on your walk. All right. Mind your business. Stay true to the Lord YAHAWASHI. And know when to speak and not to speak. Don't be out there recording and messing with these people, man. Or you're going to end up like the dude in the intro video. The dude got swung on. The video cut out. You didn't see what happened after that, but that shit was hilarious, man. People laugh at you. They scoff and mock. All right? And this is a testament to your own wickedness, to your own foolishness, because you behaved as a fool. This is the reward for your folly. People laughing at you. You embarrassed. You humiliated. Pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. If you so haughty, you think you can do this and that, you lean on your own understanding, you're going to eventually fall, and people are going to be there to laugh at you when you're down. That's going to show you, man, I should have just listened to the scriptures. Should have just followed the precepts. You know? With that, I truly bless most edifying to you. I cannot walk to listen in true sincerity. To next time, Yeshua, give all glory and praises unto Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, RICANS. Shalom.